Welcome to the Calf of Man. My name's Aron Sapsford. I'm the warden or bird warden for the Calf of Man. So we're here today to look at the South Harbour Manx shearwater colony, which is on my right here. So pretty much anywhere that you can see up to the right of us, up to the top of the hill. Underneath the bracken is a large number of burrows which hold the Manx shearwater population, which is roughly in the region of around about 150 to 200 pairs in this one area. On the island itself, probably somewhere in the region of 600 to 700 pairs. In context, not a huge number when you compare it to some places, say in some of the islands in Wales where they've got several 100,000 pairs. But in a Manx context, it's very, very important because obviously the Manx shearwater was named from here. And unfortunately, due to the introduction of longtails in probably in the sort of mid 1700s, rats got on board, or got onto the calf from a ship that probably became shipwrecked near the calf, and unfortunately they decimated the population of Manx shearwaters here. Historically, there were probably hundreds of thousands of pairs breeding here, but the longtails went through them fairly quickly, and back in the sort of 1950s, 1960s, when the bird observatory started on the calf, people tried to prove whether shearwaters were still breeding, but nothing was really proven. It was probably that they had become extinct from here for a number of years. Certainly in my time in the late 80s and early 90s, we saw birds ashore here at night, but never actually found any breeding birds until the year 2000, when the then Warden Tim Bagworth found a pair nesting up on the cliff at South Harbour here. Since then, there's been an eradication programme for the longtails, and that seems to have had really good success, so that we're now up at 600 to 700 pairs. So they've been building gradually over that period of time since 2000, but now hopefully we're keeping the longtails away from the island, and hopefully the population will continue to expand, and you know, maybe we'll get back up to that several 100,000 pairs sometime. Okay, so here we are at a couple of the Manx shearwater burrows. There probably are at the moment at least a chick and maybe an adult or so below us, perhaps maybe as much as 6 to 8 foot below us. They seem to nest or burrow down quite far here, so the nest chambers are sort of beyond our reach. So what we do is to try and monitor these, is that we come in the beginning of June each day and play a sound recording of the male and female shearwaters, and we hold the player just down into the hole, play the recording for about 10 to 15 seconds, and usually if there is a bird sitting on the egg, we'll get a response from that, and we record that response, whether it's a male or a female calling. And so we do that over a period of about 14 days. So we can then build up a good record of how many burrows are actually occupied. So we do a sample of 100 burrows, and then we can work out from that an occupancy rate for the whole colony. So the other thing that we'll do is count the number of burrows that we actually have in the area, and that gives us that occupancy rate. Manx shearwaters aren't very good on land, so they spend most of their life at sea, migrate down to South America in the winter, and then come back here for the summer, arriving in sort of late March, early April. But they will only come ashore here at night time. They're predated by gulls if they come ashore during the daytime, so they will wait until the cover of darkness, usually until it is really dark. So the really dark nights, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, they'll come back ashore and they'll swap over. If a bird's been sat on the nest for a few days, they'll swap over. That bird gets the chance to go out to sea and feed, and the other bird will stay and incubate for a number of days until the chick hatches. It's quite a lengthy process, so their incubation is anything up to sort of 40 days, and then once the egg has hatched, both adults will go out and feed, and they'll leave the chick in the burrow on its own. Again, a lengthy process. The chicks probably won't actually fledge until late August, early September, so there's still quite some time for them to keep provisioning that young. Little sign, I mean, here we've got a little bit of digging on this burrow, there's a little bit of Manx shearwater poo on this one, so other than that you wouldn't know they were there. Shearwaters are one of the longest lived known birds, so over 40 years. So there are shearwaters, I think, in Bardsey, where they've had to replace the ring that the bird has 3 or 4 times because it's worn the ring out. So, yeah.
Do we know if they always return to their same burrow?
Difficult for us to know here, but certainly in colonies where they've got marked sort of nest boxes and things, yeah, and yes, they do. They are site faithful.